They recognise those people whose commitment has been constant, and they know that those standards are not changing.
Princess Anne, a royal who defied expectations and carved her own path. But how did a young princess, raised under the shadow of the crown, become one of the monarchy's most enduring figures? Stay tuned as we unravel the story behind her remarkable journey. Princess Anne's early life and character development. Born August 15, 1950, Princess Anne is the second child and only daughter of the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, and Queen Elizabeth II. Being the daughter of a reigning king, her upbringing was molded not only by her rigorous standards of royal life, but also by her parents' particular impact. Renowned for her strong sense of obligation, Queen Elizabeth taught Anne great respect for service and legacy. Anne's own strong work ethic, evident in her future position as one of the royal family's most industrious members, was surely shaped by her mother's relentless dedication to the crown. Anne's personality was shaped in an equally significant part by Prince Philip's influence. Renowned for his directness, pragmatism, and independence, Philip urged his kids to have a sense of humor and a welcome resilience. He mainly affected Anne's tomboyish inclinations and her love of sports, particularly equestrianism, often attributed with shaping Anne's more direct and pragmatic approach to royal life. In contrast to her more sensitive brother, Prince Charles, is his military background and no-nonsense attitude. Despite her royal background, Anne had a generally private childhood. Family estates like Balmoral and Sandringham gave her some normalcy and outdoor adventure. But Anne and her siblings were frequently left in the care of nannies and tutors, since their parents had rigorous royal responsibilities. Anne, who grew up learning to negotiate the particular demands of royal life at a young age, developed some degree of autonomy. Anne's character, shaped by both royal duty and personal conviction, stands out for its remarkable consistency. Princess Anne is well known in public for her straightforward approach. Often considered the most industrious royal, she routinely ranks among the top in terms of public activities. She presents a strict, business-like attitude in her official responsibilities, hardly displaying the kind of public displays of emotion that the media sometimes demands. She is known as the unsentimental royal, someone who favors action over luxury in the softer aspects of public life. Those who knew Anne well, however, tell behind closed doors a woman with a great sense of humor, friendliness, and intense loyalty. Although her public image may seem cold or distant, friends and relatives have confirmed her friendliness and direct nature in private. Strongly safeguarding her privacy and personal life, Princess Anne keeps great distances separating her royal obligations from her family life. Anne's public and private personas, sharp contrast, has helped her to avoid much of the public scrutiny and controversy that has dogged other royals. She has perfected the craft of juggling her royal obligations with a personal life, keeping most of her personal world hidden from view. Through it all, Princess Anne has managed to strike a delicate balance between duty and privacy, a feat not easily accomplished in the royal spotlight. Princess Anne broke out from the conventional definition of a royal princess from early years. She never especially found the glitz and grandeur of royal appealing. Rather, Anne became known as a tomboy by gravitating toward outdoor interests and physical activities. She inherited her father's passion of sports, especially horse riding, and developed into a competent equestrian on her own right. Her competitive nature drove her to represent Great Britain in the 1976 Olympic Games. Thus, she became the first royal from Britain to compete. Anne's rebellious bent went beyond her passion for sports. She was also well known for defying the conventional wisdom regarding a royal woman. She was not one to indulge in vanity or the surface features of royal life, even as she diligently carried out her royal obligations. Often downplaying fashion and public appearances, she valued substance above style. She regularly voiced annoyance with the media's fixation on her appearance in interviews, and she often bristled at the idea that she should fit into preconceptions just because she was a princess. Anne's independent, occasionally rebellious attitude distinguished her from other royal family members, including her siblings. Anne kept a steady and dependable presence in the royal family, forging her own path with a mix of obligation and personal autonomy, while her brother Prince Charles struggled with the demands of being the heir apparent, and her younger brothers Prince Andrew and Prince Edward found themselves caught in several crises. Ultimately, Princess Anne's unwavering commitment to service has solidified her as one of the monarchy's most enduring and respected figures. Princess Anne's directness, stoicism, and great work ethic have always been defining qualities. Over years, these attributes have attracted praise as well as criticism. She is renowned for her directness. She often speaks her truth without thinking through how her words might be interpreted. Although occasionally seen as harsh or even rude, this directness is also a trademark of her pragmatist efficiency. Another quality that defines Anne is stoicism. Like her mother, Queen Elizabeth, Anne detests public display of emotion rather strongly. She seldom lets personal emotions interfere with her obligations, since she values obligation and restraint. Her austerity has made her a consistent and dependable member of the royal family, especially in trying circumstances or crises. Anne's relentless work ethic is maybe the most defining quality about her. Every year, she routinely performs hundreds of public events, working with many charities and businesses. She has never been one to shy away from hard work, despite her privileged background. She often expresses her opinion that members of the royal family have to prove their place by service. Princess Anne has never held back when expressing her strong beliefs. She frequently makes news for her open comments. Declaring in one interview, "You learn to deal with the media, but they can be quite intrusive." She has attacked the media for its invasive coverage of the royal family. Her austere style has also helped her to criticize younger royal family members for overly emphasizing their public image and celebrity reputation. Relationships within the royal family. Relationships within the royal family. Over the years, Princess Anne's relationships with her brothers, especially Prince Charles, have changed. Being the only daughter, Anne has sometimes been seen as more grounded and no-nonsense than her older brother, who was groomed from a young age to be a king. Anne and Charles reportedly were close in their younger years, sharing the difficulties of public life. But their personalities were very different. Anne is direct, pragmatic, and tough. Charles is known for his introspection and sensitivity. Sometimes their different temperaments have caused conflict. Anne has been more conventional in her attitude toward royal responsibilities, preferring to remain understated and concentrate on diligence. Charles, on the other hand, has been more willing to embrace modernizing the monarchy and change. Though they have different approaches, Anne has always supported Charles in his role as the heir to the throne. Their relationship has stayed relatively consistent over the years. But Anne's less ceremonial and more pragmatic attitude to royal life has sometimes led to a quiet rivalry between the two. Her relationships with her younger brothers, Princes Andrew and Edward, have been more complicated. Conflicts have surfaced with Andrew, mostly related to his recent involvement in scandals. Renowned for her dedication to maintaining the royal image, Anne has allegedly distanced herself from Andrew's issues. Although the siblings grew up together, their paths diverged as adults. Anne chose to focus on her duties while Andrew became entangled in public controversies. This divergence reflects Anne's firm stance on responsibility and her desire to protect the monarchy's image. Her rapport with her younger sibling, Prince Edward, has been less divisive. Known for his quieter, less public involvement in the royal family, Edward has collaborated with Anne on some royal events, and their relationship is reported to be cordial. Anne's pragmatic approach has helped her to stay consistently involved with the family, while remaining rather detached from the more dramatic aspects of her brothers' lives. Princess Andrew's views on royal responsibility have been deeply shaped by her relationship with Queen Elizabeth II, her mother. Unlike her brothers, who have occasionally struggled with royal expectations, Anne embraced her duties from an early age, reflecting the work ethic of her mother. Renowned for her unwavering dedication to the throne, Queen Elizabeth II passed on her sense of duty to Anne, who has often been described as the most conscientious member of the family. Anne approaches her public duties with a clear respect for her mother. Like Queen Elizabeth, Anne believes that remaining apolitical, maintaining composure, and putting the monarchy's needs above personal ones are essential. She has always viewed her mother as a role model, praising her grace under pressure and leadership. Anne's emulation of these traits has helped her navigate the complexities of royal life with dignity and poise. Although their relationship has been one of mutual respect, it's worth noting that Queen Elizabeth's rigorous royal schedule during Anne's early years meant the two did not spend as much time together as some might have expected. However, Anne understood the nature of her mother's duties, and this distance did not seem to create conflict between them. Instead, it fostered Anne's strong respect for the monarchy, and her sense of duty directly reflects Queen Elizabeth's influence. Particularly unique and influential on Princess Anne's personality was her relationship with her father, Prince Philip. Known for his sharp wit, humor, and pragmatic approach to life, Philip found a kindred spirit in Anne. Anne loved the outdoors, sports, and independence, qualities not as strongly shared by her brothers. Many have said their relationship was closer than Philip's relationship with his other children. Philip, a passionate sportsman himself, greatly encouraged Anne's equestrian interests, which she excelled at in her younger years. This shared love for sports fostered a close father-daughter relationship, with Philip guiding and supporting Anne throughout her competitive riding career, including her participation in the 1976 Olympics. Philip's influence also appeared in Anne's famously straightforward demeanor. Like her father, Anne is known for speaking her mind, with little patience for frivolity or political correctness. Philip often confided in Anne, as their similar outlooks on life made her a trusted confidant. His strong influence on her work ethic and loyalty to the royal family is unmistakable. This father-daughter relationship was a key factor in shaping Anne's tough, pragmatic, and duty-focused character. Princess Anne's perspective has been shaped by her personal relationships in addition to her royal obligations. Her first marriage to Captain Mark Phillips in 1973 was initially seen as a love match, but eventually ended in divorce in 1992. 2 children, Peter and Zara, were born from the marriage, and Anne seemed content with family life for a time. However, Philip's military career and frequent absences led to the relationship's breakdown, with infidelity on both sides. Just before her brothers Charles and Andrew faced their own high-profile divorces, Anne's separation was among the first widely publicized royal splits in modern times. True to her nature, Anne handled her divorce with minimal drama, maintaining a quiet dignity under media scrutiny. In 1992, Anne remarried Navy officer Timothy Lawrence in a small private ceremony. Their relationship has remained notably low profile, aligning with Anne's preference for personal privacy. Her second marriage has proven stable and supportive, contrasting with her first. Lawrence shares Anne's strong work ethic and reserved nature, providing a steady relationship. Anne's marriages, particularly the differences between them, underscore her desire for a quieter life away from royal attention. Though her marriages have not defined her in the way royal responsibilities have, her family dynamics, especially her role as a mother to Peter and Zara, remain central to her life. In fact, Anne's ability to balance her personal and public lives has cemented her reputation as one of the most diligent and hard-working members of the royal family. This balancing act between public duty and personal life has been key to Anne's enduring legacy within the monarchy. Princess Anne's strong opinions on certain public figures. Like her father, Prince Philip, Princess Anne has always been regarded as conservative. Although royal family members are usually politically apathetic, Anne has sometimes let her views show through her behavior and words. She is generally seen as having a strong sense of obligation, which fits more conservative ideals, especially in relation to preserving monarchy integrity and continuity. Sometimes Anne's conservative postures cause conflict among more progressive public personalities. For example, Anne was allegedly dubious about Tony Blair's modernization plan, which sought to introduce a more laid-back, celebrity-driven style to British politics. Anne, who favored a more official, duty-bound portrayal of the monarchy, apparently found Blair's more casual approach to governance, including his handling of the public image of the monarchy following Princess Diana's death, objectionable. Although Anne is still a private person and rarely speaks directly on political issues, her behavior and attitude point to a preference for tradition over change. This makes her more skeptical of politicians or public figures who aim to modernize royal or social events. Princess Anne has never kept her contempt for contemporary royal trends, particularly those influenced by celebrity culture, a secret. Unlike younger royals who have embraced social media and the growing focus on public image, Anne has consistently maintained a no-nonsense attitude toward such things. She is frequently cited as saying that royal life is about hard work and obligation rather than glitz or celebrity. This sharp distinction between Anne and her younger royals provides insight into her unwavering dedication to preserving the monarchy's core values. Anne has voiced concerns in interviews about the royal family becoming overly eager to please the public or too easily accessible. She has cautioned against the rise of royal celebrities, as she believes the monarchy's role is to serve, not to entertain. Anne's emphasis on substance over style stands in stark contrast to the increasing focus on how royals, particularly the younger generation who are more attuned to public relations, are portrayed. Her views reflect a conventional view of royal life, and she has been candidly skeptical of initiatives like royal slimming or the idea of a more casual royal image. To Anne, these trends compromise the institution's gravitas and risk diminishing its relevance. Princess Anne has had her fair share of well-publicized conflicts with prominent public figures. One of the most well-known disputes is her alleged disdain for Princess Diana. Diana was adored by the public for her charm and relatability, but Anne apparently believed her sister-in-law's celebrity status was inappropriate and conflicted with the serious nature of royal duties. Valuing privacy and hard work, Anne was reportedly critical of Diana's media coverage and emotional approach to public engagements. The tension between the two women was well known, even though they never engaged in direct public confrontations. This feud between Anne and Diana underscores the differences between two royal figures with very different approaches to duty and public life. Another noteworthy conflict arose with former Prime Minister Tony Blair. Blair played a pivotal role in shaping the royal family's public response following Princess Diana's death in 1997, encouraging them to appear more in tune with the public's grief. Princess Anne, however, seemingly opposed the idea of the monarchy showing such emotional vulnerability. Blair's informal political style and his efforts to modernize the royal family likely clashed with Anne's belief in a more reserved, traditional monarchy. Although Anne did not openly criticize Blair, her reserved demeanor and respect for conventional values hinted at underlying tensions with the Prime Minister's leadership style. Princess Anne's strong opinions about certain public figures stem from her deep respect for privacy, duty, and legacy. Her conservative principles have shaped her interactions with people who seek to transform the royal image or incorporate more celebrity-driven elements into the royal life. Although she rarely openly criticizes others, her behavior and mannerisms make her feelings clear. Regarding those with whom she has clashed, Anne tends to take issue with individuals she believes disregard the monarchy's emphasis on hard work, wisdom, and responsibility. Whether dealing with public figures like Princess Diana or politicians like Tony Blair, Anne's consistent resistance to modernizing influences within the monarchy suggests that for her, safeguarding legacy is paramount. In this light, Princess Anne's stance has been seen not merely as conservatism, but as a deeply rooted desire to protect the monarchy's enduring role and importance in British society. The build-up to the confession. The public and media have speculated for years about Princess Anne's least favorite person. Renowned for her no-nonsense approach and sharp wit, has never been one to hold back her words. Long questions about which public personalities might have offended her have abounded. Although Anne has disagreed with many people over the years, from politicians to other royals, she has mainly kept her personal emotions hidden, allowing for conjecture. Media rumors have been generated by Princess Anne's alleged disdain for some well-known people, including Tony Blair or Princess Diana. Her cool head and sporadic comments imply she has strong views on the modern monarchy and political leadership. But true to her nature, Anne has never publicly displayed her emotions, leaving people to question who, if anyone, has been the target of her resentment. Several significant events in recent years might have suggested Princess Anne's intense sentiments towards a specific person. One prominent instance was in 1997 following Princess Diana's death, when the royal family was under extreme public and governmental pressure, especially from then Prime Minister Tony Blair. Anne's conventional wisdom contradicted Blair's advocacy of a more modern, emotionally expressive monarchy. Though she never said anything specifically about Blair at the time, her avoidance of the media and inclination toward a more subdued royal image suggested underlying conflict. This moment in history deepened public intrigue about Anne's interpersonal conflict with modernizing influences around the monarchy. Her scathing remarks on younger royals embracing celebrity culture were another more recent event. Although Anne did not name anyone specifically, her comments in interviews regarding the risks of royals becoming overly focused on public relations and image management seem to target those who have embraced a more modern, accessible royal persona, hinting at a growing discontent for the direction of the monarchy. Anne's well-known stoicism stayed the same throughout these events, but these exchanges revealed minute hints about who she might be harboring negative emotions towards. Princess Anne has always kept some degree of discretion, even if her openness is well known. Unlike some of the royal family members who have participated in public spats or voiced complaints, Anne has kept her personal views mostly under silence. She has long thought of duty and respect as more important than indulging in public demonstrations of personal conflict. Her quiet demeanor has made her among the royal family members most respected, if not always well liked. Although Anne is not reluctant to express her opinion, she does it under measured responsibility. Her strong opinions have been expressed without getting caught in public debate, thanks to this mix between openness and discretion. This very quality makes her confession at the age of 73 all the more unexpected. The sudden nature of her recent revelations contrasts sharply with her historically private and measured approach, heightening public interest. Why, then, has Princess Anne decided to come forward at 73 right now? Anne might be more at ease expressing her unvarnished ideas as she gets older. Having spent a lifetime committed to royal service, maybe she feels more free to voice her own opinions, now that she is not limited as in her early years. By now, Anne's legacy as one of the most diligent royals is firmly established. She might be more likely to confront long-standing personal grudges, as less pressure is on her to keep a strictly neutral posture. Anne might also see this as the appropriate time to express her worries or expose her actual sentiments about people who have molded the course of the monarchy, as the royal family is under more scrutiny and change. The confession. At 73 years old, Princess Anne at last revealed the person she hated the most, Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister. Although years of rumor had spread about her contentment for several public personalities, until now her strong feelings towards Blair were long suspected but never verified. Blair's push for modernism and his influence on the royal image during Princess Diana's death clearly rubbed Anne the wrong way. Her contempt of him sprang from their essentially different opinions on the public image and place of the monarchy. The confession took place in an unexpected context, a frank interview for a documentary examining her life and royal service. Anne opened in a rare moment of vulnerability, even though the conversation was supposed to focus on her accomplishments and observations. She cited Tony Blair as someone whose approach she could never match when asked about people who had shaped her opinions on the monarchy. It was a measured admission, given with Anne's characteristic clarity, not an emotional outburst. The confession shocked the royal family as well as the public. Media sources grabbed on the disclosure right away, starting debates on the historically tense relationship between the royal family and Blair's government. Usually quiet, the royal family did not publicly comment, but insiders said Anne's disclosure surprised many. Given the monarchy's attempts to modernize recently, some praised her candor, while others felt it was an unnecessary reopening of old scars. The media reaction showed how Anne's admission reignited discussions about past royal tensions and the challenges of modernization. The admission by Princess Anne clarifies her strong convictions about obligation and tradition. She thought Blair's attempts to modernize the monarchy ugly, not surprising. Although Anne was one of the more subdued royals, her admission reveals that she had strong personal emotions about public personalities who, in her view, challenged the accepted royal policies. It emphasizes her will to uphold the royal values, which she thought were under danger from Blair's changes. For Princess Anne, Tony Blair represents more than just a political person. He also reflects the drive toward modernization she has long opposed. His attempts to make the monarchy more approachable and emotionally interesting collided directly with Anne's view of a more austere, duty-bound institution. Blair's approach essentially misinterpreted what the monarchy should represent, which is why Anne most felt negative about him. Understanding Princess Anne's dislike. Princess Anne and Tony Blair's historic conflict begins in the wake of Princess Diana's death in 1997. As the Prime Minister at the time, Blair was instrumental in controlling public opinion of the royal family by pushing them to seem more sympathetic and in touch with public loss. Anne, who prized privacy and a stiff upper lip, might have objected to Blair's impact in guiding the royal family toward a more emotionally sensitive posture. Anne considered this time as straying from the core values of the monarchy, since it signaled the start of a change in royal public relations. The conflict between Princess Anne and Tony Blair was profoundly philosophical as much as personal. Anne has always been a strong traditionalist, appreciating obligation, judgment, and a strict respect of royal protocol. On the other hand, Blair argued for a more media-savvy, open monarchy that would appeal to the public on an emotional level. This ideological gap naturally caused conflict between the two. Anne saw Blair's approach as weakening the weight of the monarchy, while Blair most certainly thought her position was antiquated and opposed to required change. This conflict was exacerbated even more by Anne's contempt of celebrity culture, which Blair's political philosophy sometimes embraced. She thought the monarchy ought to remain a dignified institution, not one that sought public adoration via spectacle. Blair's behavior during his tenure as Prime Minister most certainly heightened Anne's dislike of him. Most importantly, his advocacy of a more visible and emotionally involved royal response following Diana's death directly ran counter to Anne's inclination for a more subdued, understated royal image. Anne might have taken Blair's observation that the royal family was disconnected from public mood as an attack on the institution itself. This perceived attack likely solidified Anne's negative opinion of Blair, reinforcing her belief that his approach undermined royal dignity. Blair's larger modernization agenda, which included making the monarchy more relevant and approachable for modern society, was a disrespect to Anne's strong conviction in upholding royal legacy. Although the public generally considered Tony Blair as a leader who helped close the distance separating the monarchy from the people, Anne's encounter with him was quite different. Blair was to the public a reformer who modernized Britain's image, but to Anne he posed a threat to the royal customs. Though most of the public saw Blair in a positive light, her personal interactions with him combined with their different points of view most certainly confirmed her negative view of him. The aftermath of the confession. The royal family may get ripples from Princess Anne's admission of her dislike of Tony Blair. One of the most esteemed and diligent members of the monarchy, Anne's viewpoint is weighty. This admission, however, could sour relations inside the royal family and complicate their relationship with political personalities. Given the royal family's inclination for political neutrality, Anne's disclosure might not be seen as necessary, given the long-standing relationship between the monarchy and the government. This confession also coincides with a period when the royal family is already negotiating modern changes. Anne's opposition to such changes could collide with the path the younger royals, such as William and Kate, are guiding the monarchy. Although her candor would appeal to the family conservatives, it could also alienate those who think that the survival of the monarchy depends on adaptation. The public response to Prince Anne's confession varied. Since Anne has always been known for her simplicity, many long-term royal watchers appreciated her candor and found her eagerness to express her opinion refreshing. Some, particularly given Blair's continuing divisive character in British politics, felt that this admission was pointless and ran the danger of reopening old scars. Public opinion remains split between those who value Anne's honesty and those who feel the timing of her remarks may do more harm than good. Media sources grabbed the narrative fast, with tabloids and analysts debating the relevance of her comments. For some, it was evidence that differences exist even inside the royal family regarding the course the monarchy has followed in recent years. The confession might have strengthened Princess Anne's image as the no-nonsense royal who isn't hesitant to speak her truth, instead of damaging hers. Anne has long been praised for her work ethic and dedication to royal responsibility. Her readiness to freely voice her contempt for a prominent political figure will help to support her reputation as someone who upholds tradition above contemporary trends. Critics would counter that she is too inflexible, out of step with the changing role the monarchy plays in the 21st century. Princess Anne's admission in the framework of royal confessions and scandals is rather subdued. Although past royal scandals have included political missteps or personal transgressions, Anne's confession more reflects her personal values and strong belief in upholding the monarchy's customs. Though still significant in their candor, Anne's remarks seem far less damaging than more major royal scandals, including Prince Andrew's legal problems or the divisions involving Harry and Meghan. Compared to the other royal controversies, Anne's comments stand out for their focus on principles rather than personal scandal. Broader reflection on royal confessions. Public fascination with royal confessions has never stopped. In a society when monarchy stands for custom, mystique, and grace, any insight into the private emotions or secrets of royal family members usually draws a lot of interests. These discoveries are important since they provide a rare humanized perspective of a family sometimes presented as remote and quiet. Royal consciences expose the complexity of their life behind the public front and help them to seem more approachable. Over time, these admissions have helped the monarchy to modernize itself. Royal confessions have evolved as means of bridging the divide between the monarchy and the public as society develops, since people want more openness and authenticity from its leaders. Members of the royal family build public connections by sharing their personal experiences or complaints, enabling the institution to be more open and media-driven in line with the world. There have been a number of well-publicized confessions over royal history that have had a long-lasting effect on the royal reputation. Prince Charles' confession in 1994 during a broadcast interview, where he admitted his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, is among the most well-known royal admissions. This discovery caused great upheaval inside the royal family and fundamentally changed public opinions of Charles and his fit ability to be king. Such high-profile admissions have significantly impacted the public's perception of royal figures. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's 2021 interview with Oprah Winfrey produced another noteworthy royal confession. The couple spoke on racial tensions and mental health, as well as personal challenges with the royal establishment. Deeply changing public opinion of the family, this public airing of grievances sparked worldwide debates on the relevance and internal operations of the monarchy. These revelations mirrored a larger trend among royals defying convention to expose personal vulnerabilities, a change that has grown more noticeable in recent years. The confession of Princess Anne is special in royal history, since it captures her relentless adherence to custom and obligation, traits she has shown all her life. Unlike other royal admissions, which sometimes center on personal relationships or scandals, Anne's confession centers on her ideological contempt of Tony Blair and his efforts to modernize the monarchy. Her disclosure concerns a philosophical conflict between her firmly traditional beliefs and the more modernized, celebrity-influenced direction the monarchy was headed, not about personal mistakes or controversies. Anne's confession stands out for its focus on ideological differences rather than personal issues. Anne's admission is unique in that it is honest and comes from one of the most reserved royal family members. Her contempt for Tony Blair emphasizes her allegiance to royal customs and her strong conviction and that the institution should stay free from modern political trends and celebrity culture. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. See you in the next one.